What if I told you I wanted you to build me a puzzle, and I gave you all these puzzle pieces, but I didn't tell you what the puzzle was? Would you be able to build it? This is 1,000 pieces, by the way. It's gonna be very hard just for you to actually understand what the puzzle is without seeing a picture of what it's supposed to be. Now, what if I showed you what the puzzle was actually supposed to be? What it was supposed to look like when it's put together? That makes putting a puzzle a lot easier to actually complete. The pieces I was raining down on my camera was actually this picture of sunflowers in a field. This would be very hard to put together if you didn't know what the puzzle was actually supposed to be. And I don't think I could do it, honestly. But that's the cool part, is that when it comes to investing, it's like putting puzzle pieces together and you know what the end result should be. You know how to get there, and so it makes the puzzle pieces come together a lot easier because you know what the final image will be. And creating a puzzle is just like investing. Every single piece of the puzzle is a piece of the pie that you need to actually invest. You see, when you have an end result in mind, when it comes to investing, maybe it's that you want to buy a house. Maybe it's that you want to retire early. Maybe it's that you want to buy a car. Whatever it is, you know what the final product should look like. You know what the pieces will look like when they all come together. And so as investors, as someone that wants to be financially free and set themselves up for a good future financially, we have to use the pieces that we know that we can control and align those with other pieces in order to be successful. That will create puzzle pieces like this. We know this is together because it fits, it aligns. And we know that every single piece that we put together is now one step closer for us to reach our financial goals. So how do we do it? How do we reach our financial goals? And how is it like a puzzle? Well, you see, it's like a puzzle because every single one of these pieces could be something that involves investing. Let's say this one is how much you need to invest every single month in order for you to reach your financial goal. Okay, awesome. You have this puzzle piece. And let's say this one is setting up your brokerage account. And so your money that you need to invest goes into your brokerage account. And now you have a piece of the puzzle that's automatically together. And you keep doing this and you keep showing up and you keep putting more puzzle pieces together and more puzzle pieces together until you get to your final product, which is your finished puzzle or whatever your financial goal was that you set out to achieve. And whatever your goal is, I'm going to break it down today in 3 steps that you need to do in order to achieve your goals. The first step is to just be consistent. Be consistent with what you're investing. If I was to try to build a puzzle and I worked on it for 1 hour and I wasn't done with it, but then I didn't show up to do the puzzle that I was working on until 6 months or a year later, it would be a lot harder to actually achieve the puzzle because maybe some puzzles fell off. Maybe I lost some pieces. Maybe I don't know where the pieces are and I don't know how to get them back because I lost them. It's been 6 months. It's been a year since I've actually been able to invest or work on this puzzle. And so I'm not being consistent. And so if you're not going to show up, if you're not going to be consistent, then really there's no point in starting because you're probably going to fail anyways. Step 2 is to actually have real goals. If I was to say, I just want to make money, I just want to save money, I just want to invest, what is that going to do? Where is that going to get me? I don't have a mindset that's driving me to go get what I want. You have to write these things down. You have to be very specific in your goals. If I want to buy a house or say I want to retire early, I know that I need to say, I want to retire early. Okay, how am I going to do that? And by when? I want to retire early by 2045, so in 20 years. I want to retire in 20 years, and I'm going to invest $1,000 every single month that I'm going to get a 10% return on for the next 20 years so that I can retire. That's a specific goal. Or I want to be able to buy a car this year in cash. Cool, how much is the car going to cost? It's going to cost $15,000. That means that I need to save over $1,000 every single month. I actually need to save $1,250 every single month for the next 12 months. I want to buy a car in December of 2025, and and it's going to be $10,000. I need to save $1,000 every single month in cash in order for me to actually reach that goal. If you're not going to be specific, your goals are usually going to fail because there's nothing driving you towards it. There's nothing that you're seeing that you're gaining on. There's nothing that you're actually moving forward to. And so most people, it's a mentality, it's a mindset that if they're not actually seeing themselves improve, they're going to fail. It's kind of like the example where it's like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out. Well, if you go to the gym for 1 week, you're not going to see any results in the mirror. If you go for 2 weeks, you're probably not going to see any results. Usually you don't start seeing results until a month, 2 months in, and then you finally start seeing your body completely shift. That's exactly how it is when you're going towards goals, when you're trying to reach towards goals that you want to achieve. You have to keep showing up. You have to actually have specific goals. And like I said in step 1, you have to be consistent. And the third step, you have to be organized. You need to have a budget when it comes to investing. Most people, when they're doing a puzzle, they will actually sit there and they will separate out all the corner pieces. Separate out all the corner pieces from the rest of the pieces because they know that if they can get the border set, they can build off of the border. And that's no different than like you're creating a budget. Your budget is the border of the puzzle. Then everything you do from there on out with your finances, with your investments, is now kept inside of the border. It's organized. You know where pieces go, and it's a lot easier to track down things because everything's within this one specific thing, and that's the budget. You have to keep a budget, and you have to be organized. If you're not going to be organized, you're not going to succeed. When I'm talking about organization, I'm talking about creating a budget, knowing exactly how much money you can invest, exactly how much you need for all your spending, and in order to live every single month, you have to have a budget. You need to know your spending habits. You need to know what your wants are, what your needs are, what your investments and your savings are going to look like, or else you're going to fail because then all of a sudden something happens. You have to spend more money on something that you didn't know or something you do know, like eating out too much or having a new phone bill that you're spending way too much money on, or spending too much money on subscriptions, and you just keep swiping the card and then you have nothing to actually invest. So you have to stay organized, create that boundary, that border like you do when you create a puzzle, and that will help you be successful when it comes to investing. So to recap the 3 steps to actually set yourself up financially like completing a puzzle. 1, you have to be consistent. You have to keep showing up. Every single month, you need to invest more. Every single paycheck, pay yourself first. Pay your future self first by investing in your Roth IRAs, in your 401ks, in all these different assets so that you can keep building. But you have to be consistent so that that snowball can start rolling faster and faster and compounding so that you can reach your financial goals faster. Step 2 is you need to have specific goals. Write down your goals so that you have the motivation, the mentality in order to keep going, keep driving so that you can succeed. A lot of times when it comes to investing or finances just in general, it's a mentality shift. You just have to shift your mentality in order to actually be successful when it comes to your finances. And step 3 is to make sure you are organized, creating that outside border of a puzzle by having a budget set. You need to create a budget so that you can actually see how much you can invest every single month. You need to have all your income and all your expenses. Track down what you actually need in order to survive every single month, and then make sure you can pay yourself first. Like I said earlier, pay yourself first when it comes to investing, and then create your budget based on that. If you are spending way too much money, you need to be able to cut things out of your life in order to actually set your future self up by investing first before you're going to the bars, before you're going to the movies, before you're having all these subscription plans that you don't actually need. Make sure you are paying yourself first. So that's the 3 ways that investing is like a puzzle. We know what we want our future to look like. We know the purchases and the assets that we want. We know we want to retire early. That's all easy to actually see and vision. But in order to actually reach those goals, you have to start putting these puzzle pieces together every single week, every single day, every single month in order to actually have your investments grow so that you can reach those goals, so that you can have that compound interest effect. You have to take action in order to be successful. Now, I know that was a lot, and I'm Curtis Rylant, and my goal is to help you guys achieve whatever goals you have financially. Financially freedom and generational wealth is my goal. And so I want to be able to share and give back to you guys, create a community in order to do that. If you don't know what any type of investments are, I'm going to put a video right here. I'm just going to go over ETFs, index funds, and mutual funds. It's ETFs, index funds, and mutual funds. Watch that video. It's going to give you a little bit more insight, and hit that subscribe button so that you can get future content just like this. Comment down below, what are you going to do in order to be consistent? What are you going to do to be organized? And what are your financial goals? I want to know. And if you have any other financial questions, leave them down in the comment section, because I want to build a community with you guys. I'm Curtis. And remember, guys, you can do all things through him that give you strength. Peace.